Hello, all of you cool, epic, awesome listeners. This is episode 11 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. I'm your co-host Matt.
No, we got a lot to talk about this episode.
Yeah, we got three movies. First of which would be Black Panther, which we'll get into, and then we went to see The Menu. We actually got to see that together, which
Together,
was
yeah,
nice. And then One Piece Stampede, which you recommended.
yeah. Which
So
we have mixed opinions on.
yeah, but we'll save that one for last. I guess
Yeah.
for starters, let's talk about Black Panther. We've been looking forward to this for a while. It's the first MCU movie since what? Thor, right?
Yeah.
And
No, yeah, Thor.
so, and it's way more serious than Thor. It's like
Yeah.
a complete tonal shift,
It's
which
probably
is
honestly one of the most like mature Marvel movies out.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think it's probably the most emotional out of any of the
Yeah.
movies, just because of obviously the real world circumstances that are behind it. They tried to like incorporate that into the story while also being respectful. And I
Yeah, I
think
think they handled it like very well.
yeah, it's kind of a weird movie because if you think of it from like a narrative perspective, the idea of going from Black Panther 1 and the second movie just starts with the main character dying off screen. It doesn't like really work or make sense, but just because of what happened in
Yeah.
reality, they like were forced to work with what they had, you know. So if you don't know like the context behind what's going on, which might be the fact like years from now, then it might be something that you're like, wait, why would they do this? But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's like they basically. I guess we'll just go straight into spoiler. Well, actually, no, we don't have to get into spoilers yet. But yeah,
Uh,
so the way that they say that he dies is that Chadwick's character T'Challa dies is that he gets some sort of illness
right. It's like
and
a they don't really explain it, right? It's more just like a rare disease.
yeah, because I think it would be in bad taste if they show him like getting impaled or something on the
Held,
screen.
yeah.
But
Him
yeah,
getting killed in battle. I like how they they kept it very respectful.
yeah, and they have this aspect that it's kind of implied that T'Challa was hiding the sickness from Shuri, which
Yeah,
is why she didn't have a lot of time to try to create a cure for it, which is kind of
yeah.
similar to what happened in real life because he was keeping like his
Yeah,
cancer
nobody knew, yeah.
diagnosis to himself.
And I
So I guess
remember, like, there was a time when he received an award for something, and he looked, like, really, really skinny. Do you remember this, man? And
yeah, I
people were, like,
remember.
making fun of him.
I
Like, they
know.
thought, like but nobody knew, obviously. People said, like, he looked like a crackhead and stuff. He looked, like, super skinny. Everyone was, like, confused. And then, obviously, a couple months later, he passed away.
Yeah, it really is a crazy situation. Um, but the way that they handled like the way that they were able to incorporate the story and like use his death as a way to explore like loss and how the characters deal with loss, deal with trauma, and sort of moving
Yeah.
on. It's like a very like beautiful story. Honestly, like the character development with Shuri is pretty crazy,
Yeah.
especially compared to her basically in the first one just being like comic
Being a
relief.
yeah. She really stuck her and, what's the other actress's name? His mom.
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, they were both phenomenal. Like, they both really stepped up in this movie.
Yeah, I have no complaints about any of the
Yeah,
performances.
yeah.
Everyone was really good. Um, Even Okoye, she was great.
The whole
Uh,
every Namor was really, really good.
yeah, Namor was amazing. I
Yeah.
actually loved him.
I like
Yeah,
that they went with the Aztec Mayan type of culture as opposed to doing it another Atlantis. Like, I actually think it was a really cool change to the character. And he just looks sick. Like, his costume's really cool. Even the footed wings, like I mean the winged foot on feet, I'm sorry. Um Like, I feel like that's something that looks stupid in the comics, but the way they did it in the movie, it just looks, like, really, really good.
yeah, I think his look and his whole backstory is. I'm not that familiar with the comic counterpart, but I think just based on what I know, I actually prefer what they did in the movie, which is kind of rare where when you change the source material but make it
Yeah,
but elevate it, you know.
yeah.
And it
I mean, they're
also
doing it, like Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's right. It helps with getting that representation for the it's not Latin. I don't think it's
It's supposed to
Latino,
be,
but it's
the people,
indigenous, like
yeah,
indigenous
indigenous
people or
people
something.
to, yeah,
So yeah, he was very likable, but at the same time, he was also like very brutal in what he did. He did a lot of like really messed up
killing,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, he's not supposed to be a hero, so I get the whole like you can tell he's not inherently like a bad person, but he just like does what he does to help protect his people.
Yeah,
He's not going around
and
like
it's hard.
hard. Excuse me. Wait, what were you saying?
No, it's hard to just be. You have if you're a leader and protector of that many people, then you're gonna have to make hard decisions and
Yeah,
like do questionable things in order to keep your people safe.
yeah,
And basically the plot of the movie is that because of what happened at the end of Black Panther, the first one, which is that T'Challa basically decides, okay, we're going to share our technology and resources and our vibranium with the outside world.
yeah,
So, because of that, people find out about vibranium and then try to go and harvest it themselves, and in the process, accidentally discover Namor's underground, uh, what is it like kingdom, I guess,
civilization.
where they actually also have vibranium, where it was originally thought that it was just in Wakanda. So he basically is like, "Yo, you exposed us to the
Oh,
world, so like you're foul for that." And then
yeah,
he pulls up and tries to violate them, which he kind of does.
yeah.
Um,
I like how excuse me. I like how in this, because before this, I feel like you always think Wakanda's like this like untouchable nation. Like this is the first time where like it seems like Wakanda's vulnerable. Like they could actually lose against uh what do they call what's the I forgot the name of the
Alokin or
oh
something.
Aloe, yeah. Like you feel like they could possibly lose to them as of before. Like I feel like Wakanda's just like even in Infinity War, like with they had the giant like ships hit like the portal and like wouldn't even touch Wakanda. So like to see them actually vulnerable was really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Just like he basically pulls up and floods the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I guess just we'll get into spoilers now. I feel like it's been out for like 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
whatever. But he ends up killing the queen. He drowns the queen, which then makes Shuri become the new queen.
Mhm.
And he has like this crazy line where they're like all
It's like
crying because the queen is like dead ass like dying in front
they're
of
doing
them. And he,
CPR on the queen.
yeah, and he's like floating outside the window, and he's like, "You're the queen now, mourn your losses," and like just like
Yeah.
the most, it's like a vile line to
Yeah.
say to them.
What
But
did you think of the whole like subplot with the US government?
what being that they're going after vibranium,
Yeah.
that's definitely gonna come back into play at
Yeah.
some point. And the fact that they included Val in this, which was like a really pleasant surprise for me. I was telling you before that nowadays most of this like I know everything walking into a Marvel movie just because of like leaks and
Yeah.
people spoiling it on Twitter. Even though this is a small surprise, like I had no idea that Val was going to show up, and I just like saw her, and then I was like, oh wow, like that's a nice little cameo. And then I was like,
Yeah.
wait, maybe I shouldn't be like finding out every single detail.
Detail from Twitter, yeah.
But yeah, so she's the new head of the CIA, and she wants vibranium, as she mentions throughout the movie. So I think that's kind of going to tie into Thunderbolts because she's going to
Yeah.
be the leader of the Thunderbolts. So why would she want to make that team? What is her
Yeah. What's
reasoning?
her motive? Yeah.
What's her motives? And then seeing her in this talk about how much she wants vibranium, you could kind of put two and two together and think like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe she's gonna try to invade Wakanda or accuse them of something in order to allow the
Yeah.
US to attack them, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
because didn't they say like something about destabilization at one
Mhm.
point? Like her and Everett Ross, that's the guy's name, right?
Yeah,
Were like sitting down, they were just asking about like what would be the next step, and they were like complete stabilization of the country, which I feel like that could be something like Maybe that's what they make the Thunderbolts try to do.
Yeah, but I don't know how well that would go over, especially since, like,
Yeah,
Bucky is probably gonna be one of the leaders of
yeah,
that team,
and he's
and
literally like they kinda, like, saved him.
yeah, um,
I saw stuff that, um, apparently, like, it's not gonna have to do with Wakanda, but it has to do with vibranium. Like, there's, like, a rumor that another asteroid is gonna hit Earth, and it's gonna be, like, another vibranium asteroid, and the whole plot of the movie is, like, them basically securing it and making sure, like, no one else gets to it before them.
well, I heard a rumor that it's not actually gonna be vibranium, but in that movie, in the Thunderbolts movie, they're gonna discover a different metal, which is adamantium, which is what Wolverine's claws are made out of,
Yeah.
and which would be cool. It would be a cool way to introduce it. It would
So
kinda be like a misdirection where they're building up all this stuff about how she wants vibranium, but then when the movie comes out, it's actually her
yeah.
going after adamantium. And I also saw that it could be located in, like, the Savage Land,
Oh, yeah, the
which is
Savage Land,
which
which is
is
basically just like a Jurassic Park
yeah,
type of, you know.
and they have, like, the devil dinosaur there or whatever,
Yeah.
um,
But,
which would be cool 'cause, like, where is that metal all this time? All they ever talk about is vibranium, and that's
so
only because of contractual reasons that
yeah.
they but
So adamantium, I think, is, like, created from vibranium. Like, it's not like they found like, it was made, and it has to do with, like, Thunderbolt Ross, like, he's one of the people that, like, was in charge of that. That's why people think that because he's gonna be in Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts, obviously. People think that maybe, like, towards the end or, like, maybe a post-credit thing be him, like, actually creating the metal if they get, vibranium. Because I think, like, it's made from vibranium, but that's how they discover it or something like that.
yeah, and they could honestly do whatever they want in the movie.
Yeah,
I don't, like, really I'm not, what's the word?
too concerned.
I'm not attached to the idea of, like, how adamantium comes about. Like, I don't really
Oh,
care
oh,
how it comes about in the comics. They could do whatever they want. They
yeah,
could say it's been there the whole time. They could say, like, a meteor comes down and it's a different type of metal. Like, they could do whatever.
yeah,
But yeah, honestly, we're kind of getting a little off topic.
yeah,
But yeah, since we're in full spoiler territory, we could just say that surprise, the new Black Panther is Shuri, even though it
yeah,
was pretty obvious from all the
obvious.
marketing, considering she was like front and center and everything. And what did you think of Letitia Wright's performance, not only as like Shuri before, but even when she becomes the Black Panther? Did you see her as intimidating, or not really?
Um, I mean, I feel like you see her grow throughout the progression of the movie, and, like, I mean, she's more like a I like how they make her not like T'Challa and more kinda more like, Killmonger in terms of, like and I feel like you could even in the suit, you could see it because it's, like, the same golden color as Killmonger's suit. Like, she's, like, not, like, a completely not that she's a bad person, but, like, she's not as nice as, T'Challa in some sense.
Yeah, and there's this whole idea throughout the movie of revenge and making
Yeah,
people pay for what they did, which is kind of like it's a similar journey to first of all what T'Challa had to go through, which there's a lot of parallels with
yeah,
him and the Winter Soldier, because the Winter Soldier he thinks that the Winter Soldier killed his father, which it turns out to be Zemo, and he's like going after him for revenge. Then when he
yeah,
finds out that it's Zemo, even at the end, he's merciful, which you see again with Shuri in this. Namor kills her mother, so she has every right if she wants to kill him, but she decides to be merciful to him because she'd rather follow in her brother's footsteps than be
yeah,
vengeful like
vengeful.
Killmonger was.
Yeah.
So it was also a good way to incorporate Killmonger back into the story because
Yeah, it
since
sucks
he's
that
dead,
they killed him off because he's, like, such a talented actor, Michael B. Jordan, and his character is arguably one of the best villains in the MCU, and it sucks they, like, killed him off like that.
yeah, that's a problem that a lot of Marvel movies have is
Yeah,
they have so many one-off villains that end up just dying at the end.
yeah.
Even Claw gets killed in the last
Yeah,
movie.
like, he's such a talent there's another talented actor that just gets killed off.
That's why
I feel
at
like
the end when when Namor was like bleeding out and she had the staff, I was like, bro, please don't kill him. Like, even though he was the villain, it's not that I was necessarily rooting for his character to win, but he's just such a
Like
cool
a
character.
character. Yeah.
But I never really thought they would kill him just because of how important
Yeah.
he is to like Marvel in general. He's a
He's
member of the Illuminati and he has connections with the Fantastic Four, so I'm sure they'll
yeah.
explore that down the line.
Yeah. Like I had a feeling they weren't gonna kill him off. And I've heard that they want to do like a Netflix special with him.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't
Maybe
know what it would be about though.
it kind of. I mean, this is a question that's always gonna come up, but like, what was he doing like during
Before
the
that?
snap and like during Infinity War? Like
Yeah. I mean
half his people probably got snapped. You don't think he was
yeah.
like, all right, let me see what's going on out there? Unless like he did, or he got snapped. Who knows? But
Yeah.
it is
I'm
kind of
sure
weird that
they'll
he wasn't
address it.
around.
Yeah, that is weird that they didn't address that at all.
But yeah, maybe if they do a special, it could be more of like a backstory of him, maybe as an earlier leader
Yeah.
or something like that, or him during like a major event in the MCU. Um, One character though that I thought was underutilized was M'Baku, and when he was on
Yeah.
screen, I like loved him whenever he
Yeah.
pulled up. I think Winston Duke is a great
No,
actor,
yeah. I
and
feel like
M'Baku's character is good.
they should have used more instead of focusing a lot on Riri Williams, they should have focused more on M'Baku.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like the film is basically, besides a few exceptions, it's mainly like female um
Yeah, female
heroes,
led. Yeah,
and
yeah.
just like besides
I
M'Baku
I
and like
didn't
name,
realize that.
it's basically all females, which there's no problem with it, you know.
No,
But
yeah.
as a male, it's a little bit harder to I guess like relate to the characters or attach yourself to a character. But I mean, it's not like there's males flooding everything, so it's I can't really
Yeah.
complain. But I just thought it was a little weird how they didn't have as much like or any more like male representation. I know
Honestly, I
Daniel Kaluuya was supposed to be in it, which would
yeah,
have helped, but
but
he
he
had
was
to drop
feeling
out.
old, right?
But yeah, I just thought
Um,
that was kind of interesting.
Honestly, I didn't even like notice that until you pointed it out because I didn't like it is mostly female heroes in it, but like I don't know why I didn't even like notice it.
Yeah, because you have Riri Williams, you
Yeah,
have
no,
Okoye, the whole Dora
Okoye,
Milaje is female, and
um,
then Nakia, another
mhm.
female, and
That other
then
girl that knew like in the Midnight Angels,
oh yeah, what's her
um,
name?
I forgot. Apparently
Yeah, but I
she's
know.
getting her own show.
Oh really?
Her
Yeah.
her and like some other person.
Yeah, I didn't really like what they did with the Dora Milaje, like giving them those suits. I thought that was kind of stupid.
Well, that's not the Dora Milaje. That's the Midnight Suns. It's like another
Or not
like
Midnight Suns. What was it? Like
Midnight
a
Sun. I'm sorry, Midnight Angels.
oh okay okay.
They're like a different group of like it's like a more so like if the Dora Milaje were like the Marines, like the Midnight Angels are like the Spec Ops. Like they're
Okay.
super specialized and like all that shit's like from the comics. I
Yeah,
mean
I just
did
feel
like
like I don't know. It's you're gonna like give everyone an Iron Man suit at this point, you know? Like what
yeah,
makes like I don't know, but it is what it is.
yeah.
What did you think of Ironheart? Because I know you said you didn't really enjoy her that much in it or something.
Yeah, I just felt like she like didn't really contribute much besides the whole thing being like as a character, like she was just kind of like the MacGuffin of the film. And
Yeah,
like I don't understand why one if they're trying to protect her, why would they let her go into battle? Like the whole battle is basically about them wanting to kill Ruby Williams. And like why would they make her go fight in the giant, you know what I mean?
yeah. I guess I
It's
just
just
saw
because
it
they
as
want people to see the Ironheart, you
well,
know.
yeah, obviously, but also, if I'm trying to like justify it in terms of the story, I could say that maybe she was like I really need to like I could be really helpful, and they
Yeah.
actually thought that she could have like helped them, which
Like
she
I'm
did.
not yeah, no, I'm not like trying to nitpick, but like I feel like that was like really the only thing that really stuck out to me a lot. Um But I don't know, I
Yes,
just felt like she was like she had no like depth to her character. I mean, I also really didn't, they didn't really say anything about it, like how she designed the suit or like all. She just kind of popped up and was like, "Oh,
yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
I guess
I
that's
guess it'll be explored in the show,
yeah.
but, like,
She
honestly, I
she
just
reminded me a lot of, Peter Parker, though.
well, yeah,
Same
she's
type of
supposed to be that
vibes.
age, yeah,
Like, when she
I
shows up, she's like, "Oh, but I can't come with you guys, like, I have differential equations class,"
yeah,
which is, like, the
yeah,
same thing that, like, Peter said to Tony Stark when he pulled up
yeah,
and was trying to recruit him to the Avengers.
like,
Which was kinda funny because I actually took differential equations class.
yeah,
So I
is it
was like,
hard?
"Yo, that's mad funny," and, like, my friends didn't even, like, know what was going on. But yeah, no, I thought that was funny. Um,
I wonder if, like, if they do an Ironheart series, like, because at that point in time, Ned and MJ are gonna be at MIT too. I wonder if they, like imagine they showed up in the show, like, even for, like, just, like, a scene, that would be kinda funny.
I feel
Because they
like
both
N
go to MI too.
yeah, I feel like Ned showing up could actually easily happen. I don't know about Zendaya, cause like, what is Jacob Batalon
Nah,
really
he doesn't do
doing?
anything, yeah.
Like, so him,
Yeah,
like,
like
showing up would be kinda cool.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I'm, like, a little bit more excited about the show. I think the actress, what's her name? Dominique Thorne.
yeah.
I think she was good. She did a good job with what
What
she
she
was
had,
given.
yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
no, I didn't think it was anything on the actress, I just thought it was more like, I guess, the script. But we'll see, maybe they'll do it better in the show.
yeah, and my biggest problem really with the movie is the length. It's way too long.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
really long.
I'm pretty sure it's over 2.5 hours long, and a
Yeah,
lot of
and
it
there's a
could be
longer cut too, even, I've heard. There's a director's
really
cut. Yeah.
a lot of it could be slimmed down. Like the
Yeah,
Ironheart stuff could have been taken off a little bit, and
yeah.
even like the Everett Ross stuff. Like I enjoyed seeing Val and seeing him, and like that whole side plot of what's going on, but he really wasn't integral to the story.
No, not at all. Like, they coulda cut out that entire part, and, like, the movie would still be the same.
Yeah, I'm wondering what was the original plan because I know Namor was always supposed to be in it, but there was a script written while Chadwick was still alive. So I wonder what they would have done.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would have still had Ironheart in it, but
yeah.
but yeah,
I
no,
mean,
just
probably,
just
probably
just to go back to Ironheart though, like it is kind of weird because you can tell like the only reason why she's in it is
it's
because
because she has a show.
Kevin Feige like went to Ryan Coogler and was like, yeah, like you have to put her in because she's
Yeah.
gonna have a show. I
Like, they could have
doubt
literally made that girl, like, a random ass fucking person. Like, that
I
she just
doubt
designed this,
that
you know what I mean?
yeah, that Ryan Coogler would have like made his script for Black Panther 2 and been like, "Oh, let me include this random character Ironheart in
Yeah.
it." Like there's no way he would have done that. Which does
No.
kind of like play into the whole like big studio aspect of it where you can it's like so clearly setting something up.
Yeah.
But I mean that's what you're getting with the MCU at this point. So either you like it or you don't. And
Yeah.
I don't mind that. But yeah, it does actually set up a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
for the future of, like, because you have the whole Wakanda side plot with the US government, and then, like, Namor too, and then, what else? The Ironheart stuff.
Yeah, and also at the end Shuri decides not to be the leader of
Black Panther. Oh, yeah,
Wakanda.
the M'Baku
She
is the king of Wakanda, and then she's just gonna hold the Black Panther role.
Yeah, and I think that that's because it leaves it up in the air because apparently when they were filming, Letitia Wright was like making it clear that this was her last movie and she didn't want to come
Yeah, I
back
heard about that.
because there was a couple things that happened. First of all, she didn't get the vaccine, so that like stunted
The production.
the production of the movie. And besides that, she had apparently a very severe injury while they were filming, and they were like downplaying how severe it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
So
that.
I think that's part of the reason why she's like, you know what, I'm just like, I don't think I want to come back. So if she decides, you know what, I'm done with like these Marvel movies, I'm done with Black Panther. Just M'Baku's the king. He could just be the next Black Panther, and that's that. But then if she does want to come back, they could, she's still out there. They can make her come back.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a good way to end it in terms of that. Um,
I have a feeling, though, she's gonna come back.
yeah, I think so too, especially because of like the fan like hype
Yeah,
for the movie and how much she's being praised.
and the Disney check, too, is gonna fucking
Yeah.
hit.
Now the
So,
Disney check is actually gonna make
yeah.
her see shit differently.
So,
It,
she'll be back for whatever they have planned, I'm sure. once they take out the wallet.
Yeah. Um, I just to talk a little bit more about like the final battle. I liked how Namor kind of had that because he seems like insanely overpowered, but he has this weakness where
Yeah, like
if he's
it's
not
like
in
a very
water,
simple weakness too. Like
he needs water to be strong, basically.
yeah,
So they draw him out of the water, and then it makes the playing field a little more fair.
even yeah,
So he basically gets like a one-on-one fight with Shuri, which is very like brutal. There's a
yeah,
couple of times where he actually like violates her and vice versa. He
yeah,
stabs her with a spear like straight through the gut.
yeah.
Um and she like rips his little
Wing off. Yeah,
winged feet off.
yeah,
Um yeah, I thought that fight was very well done.
yeah. The only
And
thing that no, you go.
oh yeah, I was gonna say I like how her Black Panther is very agile compared to T'Challa.
Yeah.
The way she moves and how she fights
I mean, it
is
makes sense, like for her
yeah.
cat, like you know what
I
I
don't
mean?
I don't want to say more feminine, but it's just because of like her size and stature, she's able to move more
Yeah,
freely like that
yeah,
compared to T'Challa, who was a little bit more bulky.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I liked how they did that, and it sort of like made it very like you can easily differentiate. Like no one would think for a second like that was T'Challa under there. You know,
No, yeah, yeah. I agree.
you're about to say something though, or no?
Um. Oh, the only thing that like I kind of don't get is that like I understand she's super strong, but like she also like didn't really like train and shit. So she knew it. I'm assuming like maybe that she just did off screen, but like she like was never really shown like being a fighter, and then she just all of a sudden does all these like backflips and shit, and
Yeah.
like all these like which
No,
I'm not. I'm not trying to nitpick. I mean, her beating like people saying like oh it's stupid that she beat Namor, but that I get because they put her. He was in the fucking thing that took him out of the water, and she has the heart shaped herb too. So like
yeah.
it's weakened. Like he's weakened. That's the point.
He's
The
weakened
point.
and she's has super strength, super
Yeah.
whatever. You know.
The point was that like she beat him because like using more her head than her like powers.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you with that. With that, she didn't train at all, and then
Yeah.
she just is this crazy fighter, which was actually like a whole thing on Twitter when there was like these initial rumors that she was going to take over. A bunch of people are coming out and saying like, how is she just going to take over with no fighting experience? And people on
Yeah.
Twitter are like, oh, you're sexist. Is it's just because she's a
I mean,
woman?
some of the shit is like obviously deserved, like questioning it, but like the other stuff, people just use it as an excuse, like to act sexist.
Yeah, but I feel like
Yeah,
this is one of those situations where it's not like black or white.
it's
You
not.
know,
Yeah, no, I agree. It's kind of
just
in a
because
gray
you
area.
think just because you think
Yeah,
that like maybe she should have trained a little more, that doesn't make you sexist and vice versa. But
yeah.
um but yeah, I feel like that's one of those things where, you know, it's whatever. Like
Yeah, it is what it is.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Like they're fake characters. We could just say that she trained off screen.
yeah. Like I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
Yeah. Um so I guess my favorite character was Namor. Tenoch Huerta
Yeah,
as Namor. I
I
really
agree.
I think he was sick. Like I was so blown away by him.
Yeah,
He's just like such a
a,
like stoic
a menace.
character,
Yeah,
but he's also very menacing and he's like a great leader for his people.
yeah.
And every time I was hyped every time he was on screen. I'm
And
like
his
I'm excited to see what they do with him or how they'll incorporate him into like the next Avengers movie
yeah.
or stuff like that. But
And his even just his costume design is like I know I keep saying it, but it's so sick. Like it, I don't know why I really like it.
yeah, most of the costumes were good. I actually liked
Yeah,
Ironheart's suit as well. I think the Black Panther
yeah, I
suit
like
looked
this too.
really cool.
Yeah, even
Um,
M'Baku's costume was sick.
yeah, when he gets like the vibranium, whatever that thing is,
Yeah,
what is that thing a club, I guess, because his first one gets shattered by Namor.
yeah,
Yeah, so he was your favorite character too, you think?
yeah, yeah. Like
No.
just saying, you basically said it. Everything about him, like every time he's on screen, it's just like he steals the scene.
Yeah, he's like so captivating.
Yeah,
And even when he was just given some exposition, like talking about his backstory and how he was born. Also, he mentions he's a mutant, like straight up, which was
yeah,
kind of cool. It's another tease towards like the X-Men and mutants showing up eventually.
yeah.
But even when it's just him talking, like it's so like captivating to watch.
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
agree.
and that's both in part due to the writing of the character and also the performance.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then my favorite scene. I think we might have differing ones. You could go first for this one.
Honestly, I have to think about it, so you can go first.
All right. Yeah, my favorite. There's a bunch that were good, and I really enjoyed the burning of the robe scene at the end
Oh, yeah.
when Shuri finally gets to burn the funeral robes, which she refused to do before.
Yeah.
And they overlaid it with like clips of Chadwick from the past movie, and it was just like a very well done and emotional scene.
Yeah.
And Letitia Wright was really like phoning it in for that.
Yeah.
She's her just her facial acting itself.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I
you
mean,
could
it was
tell
real
those
emotion, you could tell, yeah.
yeah, you could tell it's real emotion because this isn't
Yeah.
like she's not acting. She actually lost like a great friend,
Yeah.
you know? So I thought that scene was super well done. It was respectful. It wasn't like it wasn't manipulative at all.
Yeah.
It was like a great tribute to T'Challa and Chadwick.
Yeah.
So,
No, I agree.
yeah. Did you think of
My
anything?
I mean, I like that scene too, but my favorite scene is the opening scene with, like, her with, um, like, trying to save Chadwick. Not Chadwick, Black Panther, like, the whole, like I don't know, I guess coming from, like, a medical standpoint, like, I kind of, like I don't know, the whole, like, setting of the whole thing and, like, the stress she was under, like, I felt like it almost felt real. Like, it had me, like, engaged in the movie right away.
Yeah, and that was a great way to open it too.
Yeah,
You could feel like how tense it was and how stressed she
yeah,
was to like scrambling to try to figure out a cure.
yeah.
And then once like Queen Ramonda comes down and
And
is
then,
like,
like, even, like, I don't know if you noticed, like, she's working, like, some of the guards are like, "You should be by his side," because like, they know he's gonna die.
"Hmm." Yeah, and she's like, no, like I have to try to figure this out. And then he ends
Yeah,
up passing before she can even like be there in his last moments, which is heartbreaking, you know.
yeah,
And it kind of mirrors what happened in real life because it was like a shock for everyone.
yeah.
But yeah, one other thing that we forgot to mention though was the post credit scene.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. We
So
haven't even mentioned that.
yeah, you could go ahead,
So,
Mark.
at the end of the movie, um, what was that girl's name? I forgot.
Nakia,
Nakia is living in what, Chile, I think?
Haiti,
Haiti, oh,
close,
sorry.
close.
And she just brings out, like, this, like, little five-year-old boy, and she said that basically when she left Wakanda, she was pregnant with, um, T'Challa's son, and his name's T'Challa too. So you can see they're gonna set up eventually that, like, T'Challa's son will probably be Black Panther.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's a good way to still keep the character of
Yeah.
T'Challa because they could always incorporate like
Aspects
T'Challa
of, like
to
yeah, exactly,
like
of
any like
the
comic
character, yeah.
stories that T'Challa Black Panther was in, they could just replace him with this new one. So that it's technically not the same character, but it basically is, and it's just to be respectful and
Yeah.
not to have to recast Chadwick, which I think is a good middle ground.
Yeah.
The
No, I agree.
only concerns I have is first of all, he's like a little jit. He's like 8 or something. So
Yeah.
how long is it gonna be till he
Well,
joins
I
the
mean,
Avengers?
well, like, wait till Secret Wars. I'm sure that'll be something they it's all about time travel and variants and, and obviously, I'm sure Wakanda's gonna be involved.
Yeah, for sure. That like vibranium has always been like such an important part of the MCU.
Yeah.
Like even yesterday I came downstairs, dad was like watching Captain America like the first one.
Yeah.
And even in that, there was like the scene that I came down was when like Cap first gets his shield and Howard Stark is like, yeah, it's this new metal like
Vibranium,
vibranium.
yeah.
There's so little of it in the world. And even until like
Yeah.
now, which is what like 25 movies later. This is the
Yeah.
30th movie in the MCU. There's still this huge power struggle with like vibranium and how
Yeah.
important it is.
No one's been able to, like, replicate it or anything like that.
Yeah. It was also cool they mentioned how like it can't be detected by metal detectors,
Yeah, which I didn't
which
know, which is kinda cool.
yeah, that leads to a whole other set of issues. Like you can't
Yeah.
really let that get to the general public.
Yeah. Well, there's a good line in the when they have like their conference. She said like, "Why aren't you sharing like vibranium with us? Like, is it considered dangerous?" And she said like, "We're not." It's what is it? It's something like they're not concerned. Like vibranium isn't dangerous. But like the people who want it are. Like talking
Yeah,
about all the other countries, which I think was a really cool scene.
yeah, yeah. That courtroom scene was cool too because it was kind of
Yeah,
overlaid with like it was the court and then it was that attack that the French pulled to try to get some
yeah,
vibranium. But yeah, overall, like really enjoyed this. I personally thought it was better than the original. I know some
I
people
agree.
disagree,
I
but
think it was better than the original.
yeah, and I think it's a great way to end Phase 4, and it's like a
Yeah,
step in the right direction for Marvel. So
yeah,
yeah, I guess we'll go to ratings. I gave it 4 stars, so 8 out of 10.
yeah.
Which
Same,
it's not my
same.
favorite in Phase 4. There's a lot that there was some misses for me, and it's honestly mainly in the runtime. But overall, great movie and it's a great tribute to Chadwick's life and his role as Black Panther.
Yeah,
So, how about you?
I gave same thing 4 stars. That I think it in turn like I mean I liked Doctor Strange better, but in terms of like which one's actually a better film, Black Panther is, and I think it's the best film in Phase 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a
But
good point. I think it's probably the best made film, but not
yeah,
necessarily my favorite.
yeah, exactly. Like for the general public, this will probably be the best one. And it was extremely emotional, which I like because usually Marvel movies aren't. Um, but yeah, I give it 4 or 5.
All right, good. So the next MCU thing is Ant-Man, right? Or
And
no, well, the Guardians.
Guardians Holiday Special is next week.
Yeah,
So I
so
gotta
we'll
watch that.
we'll like discuss that quickly on our next
Yeah.
episode. But yeah, and then we'll have Ant-Man, which will bring in Kang. That's when I feel like Ant-Man and Beyond is gonna be like shit's actually gonna be starting to get more
Well,
interconnected
apparently
and like
Ant-Man like leads directly into Avengers 5. Avengers 5.
yeah, which low key not that far away,
When
2025,
is
right?
it?
So it's about to be
Okay, that's still
2023 in a month. And then it's only 2 more years.
well, you still think they start filming what next year?
Probably like 2024, I would say.
Yeah.
Like early 2024. Because they'll
I
probably
wonder
do
like what
Kang and Secret Wars back to back, same way they did like Infinity War
yeah.
Endgame. But
I wonder if who's gonna actually show up in it.
bro, who knows? There's a bunch of stuff coming out recently that they
Yeah.
wanna they wanna use like um Secret Wars as kind of a goodbye to all the past franchises. So
I
anyone
saw
that's
that too.
ever been in a Marvel movie, even before the MCU was made, is like fair game to show up.
I saw that too
Which
actually, which would be cool.
yeah, it would be cool, especially to see like the old X-Men, the good ones at least. And we saw
Yeah.
like Professor X, which was cool.
And we're gonna be seeing Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah. Which once we get to the movie news, there was some like Deadpool news that came
Yeah.
out, which we could talk about. But yeah, so that's it for Black Panther. Great movie. We'll talk about the menu now,
Yeah.
which yeah, as I mentioned, I'm usually at college at my college when I'm recording these, but I was home this weekend, so me and Joe were able to see it together, which was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Usually I'm going alone.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm actually recording this from my own crib right now, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. But yeah, anyways, so we went to see the menu. It's one that I've been looking forward to for a while, mainly just because of Anya Taylor-Joy. She continues to just be in great stuff and
Yeah.
put on great performances, and this was not an exception.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a basic plot is it starts with these two people, Anya Taylor-Joy and her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's like obsessed with cooking. He wants to be a chef. So he finds out about this crazy restaurant that you pay like $1,200 and you go on a boat, go to this private island, and then this chef like it's like an insane experience. He gives you like all these courses and there's like a story to it and all this stuff. But when they end up getting there, you know, shit isn't exactly how it
Yeah.
seems. and stuff starts to go off the rails pretty quickly. So yeah, um, I loved it, honestly. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
it.
really like it too.
It was thrilling and it was very tense. I was kind of on the edge of my seat like for
Yeah.
most of it,
And also
especially
very
after.
funny too
Yeah,
at moments.
there
Yeah,
was a
with
lot
both
of
sides as
comedic
well.
moments. A lot of it a lot of the comedic stuff came from Nicholas Holt's character, which I know you said
Yeah.
you didn't really like him, right?
No, I didn't really like him.
Why not? You
But
just
I
think
mean,
he's a dick or like what?
yeah, I just think he's like a fucking yeah. I don't know. I didn't really fuck with him that much. But obviously, I know like you're not supposed to like the character. Like obviously, he's doing a good job. 'Cause I don't like him.
Yeah,
Like you know
and
what I
I
mean? Like,
thought a lot of the funniest parts would be like when some crazy shit happened and he's
and
like,
he's just
"Wow,
eating.
like
Yeah,
yeah, like this food's exquisite," or like
yeah,
whatever, which was really cool. I mean, really funny. But they
yeah.
like get more into like why he's not reacting to
Mhm.
all this crazy shit happening later on. But yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy, um,
Was
she
great.
was she was not the standout to me. It was actually Ralph Fiennes as the chef. I think the chef might be the new like Sigma.
What do yeah, actually,
He
yeah,
might be like the new Patrick Bateman.
yeah.
Like there's a
Very
couple
good.
Sigmas, like the guy from Ryan Gosling's character from Drive, Patrick
Yeah,
Bateman, Jordan Belfort. But I think Chef might be
Conroy.
up there. I can't
He
lie.
could be. He really could
Like
be.
those claps that he does,
Yeah,
the way he be commanding people. He was awesome, dude. Like
yeah.
the more I think about it, the more I liked him. And it's because of Ralph Fiennes. And like for those who don't know, he's the actor who played Voldemort.
I didn't know that until you told me.
Yeah,
I
which
didn't realize.
and that performance was like his performance as Voldemort. Like I kind of could see it when he was doing like his mannerisms and stuff as the chef.
Yeah,
He's just like there's something off about him. You could tell like right from the beginning. There's like something off about the
yeah.
chef, the way he moves and like
When he interacts with the people.
yeah. And yeah, I guess just I want to talk about my favorite scene quick, just because it's kind of like an inciting incident in the movie. Um, my favorite scene was like that dish, the mess.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, yeah.
Where the like this is before anything crazy happens.
I had a
So basic,
feeling like as when the guy came out, I was like, something's gonna fucking happen.
yeah. So there's a bunch of like something does seem a little off, but it's all right. They bring out a bunch of dishes, and you know like everyone's eating them. Anya Taylor Joy's kind of like complaining about the food a little bit because one of the dishes is like it's a bread dip spread without bread.
Yeah,
So she like doesn't eat it. And then the chef comes over, he's like, "Why aren't you eating your food?" And she's like, "This isn't food." And like whatever, they go back and forth and whatever. So you could tell the chef gets tight. He goes,
yeah,
then he's like, "All right, next course." Brings out one of the random chefs and he's like, "Yeah, like this chef, he's good, but he'll never be great. And he'll never be as great as me, right?"
yeah,
And the guy's like, "Yes, chef." And then he's like, "Do you like your life as a chef, as like doing all this cooking and like working for me?" And he's like, "No, chef." And then the chef's like, "All right, like this is the next meal, the mess." And the dude dead ass just like pulls out a gun and shoots himself like in the face in front of
yeah,
everyone, which was so like shocking. Like you knew something was gonna happen, but I didn't think it was gonna be that crazy.
yeah.
So he just kills himself in front of everyone and then just like gets dragged off. This is when everyone starts to tweak out and realize like this isn't what they initially
Like,
thought.
yeah, this isn't what they signed up for.
And yeah, just to go into it a little more though, there's like the whole like ensemble cast of characters was pretty cool. I know you brought it up after we saw the movie.
Oh yeah, it's just like this different types of each table is like a different type of person. Like one table is like the douchey like stock broke type of dudes, like the Wall Street Bros. One of them is like a guy who cheats on his wife. There's like the movie star that's like his career is kind of over, but he's still trying to like be relevant. And then
Yeah,
like
and
his
then
girlfriend is like a gold digger.
yeah, then the food critic.
Yeah, yeah,
And seeing like how each of them reacted to like each situation was kind of cool. And I'm sure like every person could connect themselves to one of the characters.
Yeah,
I would like to think that I would react how Anya Taylor-Joy did because
yeah,
she is the protagonist. But yeah, but you see how like each of them tries to like deal with what's going on. Like the frat guys are like, listen, like we'll give you however much money you want, just like let us know. And then
yeah,
like the food critic lady, she like goes up to one of the other chefs and she's like, listen, like I could get you your own restaurant, if you just like let us go and
yeah.
stuff like that. Which that was cool. It was like a different type of dynamic to add to it.
I like how she was like, what'd she say? Oh, she's like, "Oh, like, are we actually gonna die?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, I was trying to tell her about opening the restaurant. And she's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
look, actually, the killing of everybody part was my idea."
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then right after the food critic's like, all right, who wants some more wine? And everyone's like, yeah, yeah, I'll take some. Because like they're
yeah,
all about to die, which
yeah,
is
like,
just like another comedic
yeah,
moment without going over the top.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't really like how it got resolved at the end, I'll say.
Yeah, this is where we
So
start to differ a little bit on it.
so basically, Anya Taylor-Joy's character wasn't originally supposed to be there. Nicholas Holt's character had a date, and then he broke up with her, so he brought Anya Taylor-Joy's character instead. What was her name? Margot? Yeah, just because that's
Oh,
easier to
yeah,
say than Anya Taylor-Joy. So he brings Margot, and the chef is like, "You weren't supposed to be here. Like this entire like dinner was planned for each individual person to be here."
yeah,
And because she wasn't initially on the list, he's like, "You don't belong with these people. You belong on our side. You belong like
yeah,
with the chefs." So she like gains his trust a little bit, and then he asks her to go like fetch him a barrel or something. But she ends up like breaking into one of his private rooms, and she sees that he used to, when he first started cooking, he worked at like a
Works
little
like a chef.
burger joint. So she like uses that against him, and is like, yeah, like you don't cook your food with love anymore, this and that in front of everyone. He's like trying to disagree, and then she's like, all right, like make me a cheeseburger. I don't want any like this fancy shit, whatever. So he makes the cheeseburger, makes the fries, whatever. She eats it. She eats like one bite, and then she's like, "Can I have the rest to go?" And he's like, "Sure." Gives it to her, and then he just lets her leave, and she
Yeah,
dips. I thought it was stupid how they did that, but you
I
disagreed, right?
yeah, I liked it because I feel like the whole he talks about the whole movie how like basically why he wants to die because he knows he's gonna die because then he said he doesn't enjoy cooking anymore, like he doesn't find any joy in it, and I like how I don't know, I just feel like it came full circle. It like kind
Yeah,
of
but
wrapped up the story. I don't know, to me at least.
yeah, I like understand it, but I just don't think it worked. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's also another scene which could was like, oh wait, you want to say your favorite scene actually? Because let me.
Um, I mean, I like the mess scene is really good, and also, I mean, this isn't really a big scene, but when they give the finance bros like the tortilla with their like bank account information in it, and like they all start to like freak out. I don't know why I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, but I was gonna bring up when they make like Nicholas Holt's character chef
Oh,
up a meal
yeah,
because like the whole time he's like kind of flexing how much he knows about cooking, and like he's naming like all these different cooking techniques and all this shit. So the chef's like, "All right, go ahead, chef, make something." Then it turns out being terrible,
yeah,
and the chef's like, "You take all the mystery out of like our craft." Because like you like the average person, you don't know like how they made it taste so good, and you don't know
yeah,
like what they used. And him like flexing how he knows all this shit, like it takes the mystery out of it. So then the chef whispers something in his ear, and then he kind of just goes to the back. And eventually Anya Taylor-Joy's character walks back there, and Nicholas Holt's character hung himself. So the
yeah.
chef like told him to kill himself after that, and he just did it,
I kind of
which
had a
was
feeling he was gonna be like a when he came up to cook, he was gonna be like a horrible cook. I don't know why, but
yeah, I
just
had a
because he
feeling
cooked
too because
and
it's like
the
you can
way
know you can my bad, go ahead.
Like the way he was like cutting the vegetables and shit. I'm like, there's no way he did. Like you could tell, like he was like looked like he never touched a knife in his life.
Yeah, he looked like he researched like every single. It's like if someone like researched every type of different move in basketball, but then you're like, all right, like go on the court,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's
like
somebody
something
that's
like
like
that.
obsessed with sports, but like they can't throw a football.
Yeah, so yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Um, what else? What else? There was something else with his character. I feel like
What
with Nicholas Holt's character. Oh yeah, so it's revealed at the end that
he knew.
he knew going in that everyone was gonna die, and he brought Margot with him, knowing that, and didn't tell her,
Yeah.
which was OD foul. So I didn't care when he like killed himself because he deserved it.
Yeah. He deserved to get murked.
Yeah, but there was one thing I was confused about. Was Margot like a prostitute?
Yeah. Now that
'Cause-
I'm thinking, like, not only the thing with the other restaurant owner, but no, the guy who went there all the time, like the older dude.
Mhm.
Like the chef says, like like how he hired her. Like
To go with him, right?
yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like I gotta
Yeah, I
look it
don't.
up.
Yeah, we could be wrong on this, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was because she brings up this because the chef like when he initially goes there, he's like, yeah, like we're the same. We're both in the service industry. So at first I was thinking like, all right, maybe
Food service.
she's a food service person or like a chef also, but like that didn't really make sense. And he said he could tell by like looking at her. So I guess you can kind of get hints that someone might be like
Yeah,
into like prostitution by looking at them, but you're not gonna be able to really tell that someone's a
yeah,
chef by looking at them or like a waitress or something. But he was like, "Yeah, I can always tell." So, and then they bring up the story about how she knows one of the people there because she like for whatever reason
yeah,
was forced to like watch him masturbate or something, which
yeah,
would make sense if she's a prostitute because
yeah,
he paid her and she just has to like do whatever.
yeah,
But which kind of makes it more foul of like what Nicholas Holt's character did when he just like hired a prostitute just to like die
yeah. Just
basically.
to get marked.
Um, but yeah, that's really it. I mean, there was also that cool shot at the end where like she's on the boat, the whole thing explodes, and then like the whole entire restaurant explodes, and she just like starts munching on the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
That was like a really cool shot and sequence in general.
Would you how would you feel if they made like a prequel to this just about more about like the actual chef character?
Um, Unless it involved like more killing, I probably wouldn't really care.
I mean, I'm assuming it would involve killing.
Because I feel like this must be the first and only time that they did this, where they
I
killed
mean,
people at the restaurant. Because he mentions to the old rich guy that he's been there like 11 times and kept coming back.
he
So
could have killed
obviously,
like a different group of people somewhere else or something like that.
that's true. But he also ends this by like killing himself and everyone. So I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was like his first and last. But I mean, it would be interesting, I guess. I'm sure they could write themselves out of like the corner that they're in.
Yeah. No, they definitely could. If they
But
really wanted to, they could.
yeah, but I don't think they will just because I know this. I forgot to mention Black Panther's box office, but this movie made the
Made a
menu
lot of
made
money.
like not made 9 million in its
Yeah.
opening. Black Panther made like 330 million. Right now it's up to like 500 million.
Yeah. It's
I'm pretty
probably
sure
gonna
it beat Black Adam's run in one weekend, which is crazy.
yeah. I
But
mean, that was expected though. Like, I don't
yeah,
think anybody thought like Black Adam was gonna do like a super, super amazing.
yeah. No, but yeah, I was gonna say I don't think they're gonna like explore this more because the movie only made 9 million. I'm not sure what the
Yeah.
budget was, but
So
just for the cast in general, it must have been
yeah.
decently high because you have
I mean,
three
it
like
can't be
A-list actors.
if you think about it, it can't be super, super expensive to film because they really just stay on that island the whole time.
Yeah, and there's no like visual effects or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. All the murder stuff is practical.
Yeah, you know what? Let me look it up really quick. I'm sure I could find
Say it
it
was
somewhere.
it's cost like 25 million to make.
That's your guess.
Yeah.
I would guess maybe like 40. Um, okay, budget 30 mil.
Uh,
And
Same.
box office to date, or 35 mil estimate, it says box office to date 15 million. So I don't know. It's probably going to be a financial failure.
I'll probably break even, but like technically
Maybe.
not so.
Well, when it goes to video on demand, I'm sure it'll have like what's it
And it
called?
sucks. So like the movie's actually good. Like it's really good. It's just like no one wanted to
Yeah,
see
well,
it.
this is something that happened with The Northman, which amazing movie.
Yeah.
It's my second favorite of the year, and it didn't make any money at the box office. But what
Mhm.
happened was eventually it ended up breaking even when it went to on demand.
Streaming.
Like
Yeah.
people were renting it off of or not renting it, buying it from like iTunes and shit, and it eventually made its money back. Which that's
Ah,
kind of random, but hopefully
yeah.
that means bigger studios will be willing to give Robert Eggers a paycheck again to make movies.
I mean, he's doing Nosferatu.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess let me talk about my favorite character really quick, which is,
Yeah.
if it wasn't obvious, the chef, Ralph Fiennes. He's just like me. I don't know what to say. Like,
I want to be a chef now.
yeah, it was such a great performance. Like, he just really embodied that character,
Yeah.
and he made the movie for me. So, yeah, what about you?
Um, Anya Taylor-Joy's character is probably my favorite, just because like I like the whole like idea of her being an outsider and like people just like talking about food in this super like upper like super fancy way, and she just kind of like doesn't give a fuck. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Like her being the outsider in the whole situation.
Yeah, definitely. The dynamic between her and the chef was really good because she like
Yeah.
clearly just didn't give a fuck about like the food that he made and like how he made it,
Yeah.
the story. So yeah, I
Would you?
guess to you're about what?
No, I was gonna say, would you rate the movie?
Oh, this is another 4 star for me. So 8 out of 10. Awesome
Yeah.
movie. My problems are with the ending. I was thinking 4.5, like as I was watching it, but the ending just took a little bit out of it for me.
Yeah.
But like I've said, like it's really just the chef. He's one of like the best original characters I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you give it?
Same. I give it 4 stars. I mean, it started off. My only clue is that in the beginning it was kind of slow, but then once it picks up, it like fucking gets really good.
Yeah, after the mess, it actually
Yeah,
gets crazy.
well, it's still really good.
Yeah. Damn, all right, we're on the same page today.
Yeah.
Two of the same ratings so far.
Well, when we get to
But
One
yeah,
Piece, that's when we're gonna start to.
yeah, yeah, we'll start beefing after that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, all right, let's talk about some movie news. Um, okay, so the big thing that happened, which was it's kind of upsetting, but we still got to talk about it, was Kevin Conroy passed away,
Yeah, I
which
did
is
see that.
really sad. And he's, for those of you who don't know, he's like the most iconic voice actor for Batman.
Probably the best adaptation of Batman.
Yeah. He did Batman's voice in all the Arkham games. He did it in most of the animated movies. I'm pretty sure he was the Batman the animated series voice too, right?
Yeah. He also was um in what the hell is the fucking thing? Like on the Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Oh yeah. He
CW,
played
he played a version of Batman, which is kind of cool because I
yeah,
never got to see
and
him in live action.
yeah, another thing about him is he's like one of the most famous like openly gay actors and voice actors.
I didn't know he was gay.
Yeah. He's the whole his whole thing is he got a when he first started and wanted to do voice acting, they literally some company, I forget who it was, but they literally like were like, "Nah, you're gay." Like like we're not
Jesus,
gonna give you the
I didn't
job. And
know that. Wow.
then immediately following that, he got the gig as Batman, which like changed his life.
Yeah.
And I know for DC did like a whole Pride month like stories, a bunch of stories for their comics, and he wrote like this Batman story that it's like it's supposed to really be about his life and
Yeah.
him like dealing with, or not him dealing with, but like how the public dealt with him being gay and stuff. Apparently it's like
Yeah.
a really great story. But yeah, he's just like, as far as I could tell, he seemed like such a great guy. And
Yeah, it's
um
sad.
And, like, a lot of it is with my childhood, like, any, like,
Yeah, I feel like
Batman
when you think of
adaptation.
Batman, like, when you think of Batman, you hear his voice. Like, I don't
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure, and, I think I mentioned before, I started playing Gotham Knights, and they have
He's
this
not
voice
Batman
actor
now, right?
for Batman, and it's like, bro, like, who is this guy? Like,
Yeah.
it sounded wrong.
Did they
I
say what he passed away of?
I think it could be wrong, but I think it was
Oh,
cancer.
because he wasn't, like, super, super old. I mean, he was
No,
older.
I think he was 66. Let me see, Kevin
Let me look
Conroy
it
cause
up.
of death. Intestinal cancer.
Uh,
Said, it's unavoidable, stuff like that.
yeah,
But yeah.
it is really
So
sad.
no, that's terrible, but I guess
Did he have a husband?
I don't know. Not that I know of. But yeah, just you hate seeing news like that with celebrities
Yeah,
passing, especially those who had like impacted your life, you know?
yeah.
But yeah, rip to him. Um, I guess to move on,
What else we got?
um, there was a new Spider-Man deal apparently that a bunch of inside
I
scoopers
did
are
see
saying,
that, yeah.
which is that Tom Holland signed on to do 3 new Spider-Man solo films, which would give him 6 in total, which is kind of unheard of. And
It's like Fast and
appearances,
Furious
yeah,
level.
appearances in Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. And there are some rumors that he also signed on for the Daredevil series to appear, but I don't know
I
how true
doubt
that
it.
is.
I
So,
doubt there's no way. I
yeah.
highly doubt that. That's I mean, it's exciting, but I didn't really expect it not to happen. So, I mean, you know,
Yeah, I agree. It's just kind of crazy, like the 3 film solo. So, like, he's going to have 6 solo
6
films,
movies, yeah.
which
Even
is the
4 is, like,
most.
insane.
Yeah, even like not only the most by any Spider-Man actor, but the most by like any superhero,
Yeah.
as far as I can tell. I mean, Thor had 4, he might get 5, but who knows at this point.
Ant-Man
And
is
besides
3,
that, like, yeah, I
CapEx
can't really.
3.
I'm trying to think of like outside the MCU maybe, but there's really no one
What, that has more than 6? Well,
that
even
has
6 in general.
even 4. I feel like 4 is the most.
I mean,
So I'm trying to think.
John Wick 4 is coming out.
Yeah, I mean it's not
Um,
really superhero, but
no, Pirates of the Caribbean
yeah,
has
yeah.
I mean, the
They have
Transformers franchise,
4.
technically, they have, like, 6, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
But
I
those
mean,
aren't I feel like those aren't really solo films. Like,
they're
Transformers is
not
an
yeah, they're not
ensemble.
characters, but yeah, that's true. Um, hmm,
But, yeah, it's kinda crazy.
I gotta think about that, I don't know.
Even, like Batman, like Dark Knight, it's only a trilogy. It's only
Yeah.
3. But all 3 of the first 3 were good. I just wonder what director they're gonna get for the next 3. I wonder if John Watts will come back or if they'll try to do, like, a new trilogy with a new director attached.
I want John wants to do, what you call it,
Secret
Secret
Wars?
Wars, yeah, or
Yeah,
Coogler,
I think he would be the best choice, but after seeing Black Panther, I would be perfectly okay if Coogler did it.
yeah.
But I don't think
I've
that's
al
something he wants to
I've
do.
also I heard of something that, um, apparently the director of, Captain Marvel 2,
Mhm.
apparently the movie's really good and, like, they like her a lot, and they said it's a name that was thrown around too.
Nia DaCosta?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's possible, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
What else?
yeah, so that's that. Spider-Man's coming back, yay. Um, oh, so before I mentioned Deadpool 3, we had some stuff to talk about with it. So apparently Owen Wilson is going to be in the film, and he's going to be the same character that he was in Loki, which was the TVA agent Mobius,
Yeah.
which kind of changes my perception of the film in general. It kind of is like, all right, wow, this really isn't the MCU, you know? Because
Yeah.
it does seem kind of like its own thing. But the fact that they're going to have the TVA and Mobius pull up, it like shows that all right, this is gonna be like Deadpool messing with like time, so the time variance authority is gonna like come after him and
I
try to
f I
violate
feel
him.
like, he the TVA shit isn't gonna happen until, like, the end of the movie towards the end of the movie, at least.
But apparently Mobius has like a key role in the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's at least that's what I've that in the same like reports
Yeah.
that came out saying he was gonna be in it, it said that he was listed as a key role. So if
That's
it's like
interesting.
so if the story is maybe Deadpool and Wolverine like going around in time or like different universes and then getting chased by the TVA throughout,
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool.
that
And
would
then
be
you know
pretty cool.
by the end they could do whatever with Hugh Jackman, like send him to a different universe and have Deadpool end up in the MCU, which would
I
be a good
saw
way to show how he gets there, and it would also just be a good story in general.
I did see that they were looking at, trying to bring back a lot of Fox characters for it, like, I've seen stuff about the original, Fantastic Four, and then also, like, stuff about, like, Channing Tatum's, um, Gambit, which, I mean, we didn't get to see, but I know, like, he's really passionate about that character. So it would be cool to see if they actually brought him in the movie just to see how he would look as the character.
Yeah, I would like for them to revisit that old Fantastic Four, and excuse me, there's a possibility Chris Evans could like pull up as Johnny Storm.
That would be really cool.
Excuse me, sorry. Because Sean Levy, who's directing, also directed Free Guy, and Chris Evans had like a little cameo in it. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember that. So did Channing Tatum. So he has a relationship. So Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds have relationships with Chris Evans and Channing Tatum. So I'm
And
sure
it's
they would
Marvel
they
too, so it's not, yeah.
yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't mind like having a little cameo at the least,
Yeah,
you know.
I agree.
But yeah, that kind of just got me a little more excited for Deadpool
Yeah.
3. Not that I wasn't already with Wolverine showing up, but
What did you think about this is another this is off topic, but we're gonna gotta talk about this too. What did you think about the Indiana Jones 5 um photos they released and like details they gave about the movie?
um well, I posted one like the magazine cover on our Instagram story. I thought that was a pretty cool cover. And there's also another picture of Harrison Ford, and he's old. I can't even lie.
Like
Like
82.
yeah, like he's actually old. I don't know how Indiana Jones is going to be able to like keep up with like whatever's going on. But
Yeah, all the stunts and shit.
apparently the movie is about um
I saw it's
Indiana
supposed to
Jones
be.
like going after Nazis during the space race or
Yeah,
something.
that's what I saw too, which is
And
interesting.
apparently like the Nazis are working for NASA or I don't know.
I mean,
But
that's what happened in real life.
yeah, but I mean, yeah,
Well,
it's supposed to be well,
ex-Nazis.
former Nazis maybe
Yeah.
work for I don't who knows, bro. But yeah, I mean, it seems interesting. I'm just kind of like concerned with how Harrison Ford is going to be able to do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they filmed it already, so like it's not like he didn't survive or anything. But
No,
like
yeah.
I don't know like how it's
I
going to
mean,
translate when we watch it, you know?
yeah. Did you see about the Indiana Jones Disney Plus show they're doing?
Yeah. I I don't know if I'm assuming it's not going to be following Indiana Jones
Apparently it's
himself.
a prequel, but like honestly, like fuck cares? Like I just feel like it's so pointless.
Yeah, if they're not using that character, like I don't think people are gonna care, honestly.
I feel like
Unless they like introduce a character in the movie that's like so well liked that people want to see them in a prequel, then maybe. But
I feel like I wish they would have done something with. I know there were rumors about time travel. That would have been good because like maybe like at the end of the movie they could like reset something and like they could just start over with like a new actor. It's like a young Indiana Jones.
yeah, people were like fan casting Chris Pratt because he kind of looks like him. But I could see it. Like imagine Chris Pratt wearing the Indiana Jones fit.
Yeah,
I could see it. But
yeah.
what would be kind of cool would be like maybe an adult short round because the
What do you
actor
mean?
is like Short Round from. Indiana Jones 2.
I haven't watched Indiana Jones,
Like
like
the little Asian kid.
yeah, yeah.
He's like the main dude in um Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, no, I know.
So he's like back in Hollywood now and he just got cast in Loki, remember?
Yeah.
So
If
imagine
they
they
did
did
something
like
with him.
his character as an adult. Like he's popular again.
Yeah. He's old, he's,
And
like, older though too, like
yeah, but he could I mean, like I don't know. He could finesse it, I
yeah,
think. But wait, he's not old. How old do you think he is?
50s, 60s.
You think so?
What's his name?
Look up Short Round from Indiana Jones. Ki Hoi Kwan,
51.
51. Damn.
Yeah, he's like older, dude. I gotta rewatch Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah, I've watched like the first and second one kind of recently. There's like a bunch of old shit I gotta rewatch now that I'm actually like into movies like that. But yeah, I mean, all right, he's kind of old, but he ain't no 83,
No,
so
obviously,
he
yeah,
could still do it.
but I feel like if they're gonna do something, they're gonna want somebody who's gonna like hold the franchise for like like at least a decade. Like, so they're gonna want someone probably in their 20s or 30s,
Right?
like around when Harrison Ford. This is all hypothetical, obviously.
Yeah, but all right, I mean, once a trailer comes out, like we'll
Yeah,
post it and we'll talk about it
I think
more.
they
But
said it's gonna come out before the end of the year.
yeah, that would make sense because I think it comes out in like May of next year, the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll get to it. But besides, this is kind of random, but God of War came out, and Joe, you've been playing it a little.
Oh yeah,
What are your thoughts?
so good. They may. I hope they adapt because they know how they're gonna do the God of War TV show at Amazon.
Yeah,
I hope they adapt like this storyline as opposed to like the original ones. Just
really?
because like the original games are more like action driven. I feel like these games, like the Norris ones, are way more story driven.
Yeah, for sure. I
Like
mean,
it's like
the whole story of the original though is cool of him like killing every single
a
Greek
Greek
god.
god, yeah. No, yeah, but I feel like the story in the newer ones is way better.
Yeah, I think if they do when they make the show, they probably will do this Norse one because that's like what's popular in like that's what's
Oh yeah,
popular in pop culture today,
I
and they
want to
want
play
to.
the old ones.
We have some of them on PS4, I think. I'm pretty sure I've God of War 3 somewhere in the closet. But yeah, so like, do you think the game's better than the original so far?
So far, I mean, so far, yeah. I mean, they're both really good, obviously, but it, but
Yeah,
I mean, it picks up right from the beginning. Like, not right, I'm sorry. It's just like the second you start the game, like there's like action right away. Like, if there's no like, you know,
yeah,
transition, it's just
because I know like at the end of the first game is like Thor pulls up. Is that like how the game starts or no?
what I mean. That scene is like that scene's in the move um in the game. Like that scene happens, but like it's not like you play for a little bit and then like you go to your house and then like that scene
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Odin's in it too, which is
oh
cool.
yeah, that's sick. I hear there's like a crazy ending, but like I'm trying not to be spoiled. I'm so tempted to play the
I
game.
honestly have no idea what it like. I heard that too as a crazy ending, but like I haven't seen anything about what it
Yeah.
actually is.
I'm actually so tempted to like play it, but I know that
It's not gonna be
as,
worth it.
like if I play it, like my grades could go to the gutter.
Yeah, wait
Like
till you're done with school, dude.
yeah,
That's
because
the
it's
only nice
supposed
thing about being an adult is like you don't have to like I get home from work and like I could just play. I don't have to worry about anything.
yeah. That's the thing. Like I got finals coming up, and I
Yeah,
would not
yeah,
want to pick it up right now because I would not be able to put it down.
yeah,
But I'm probably over winter break. I'll just grind through it.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's getting like insane reviews, like 10 out of 10s all across the board. It's gonna be up there with Elden Ring probably for game of the year.
Yeah,
It
I did see that
might
too.
win. It just shows that Sony supremacy, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Those PlayStation exclusives go hard.
they really
Um,
do.
yeah, and I think this had like one of the highest selling, if not the highest selling, of the year, and it's
I did
only
see
on
that.
PlayStation. which is kind of crazy. Like
Yeah.
they sold no units on Xbox or PC, and it still had like insane sales.
That actually is
Also,
insane. I didn't realize that.
yeah, and we're also next year's Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, and then the year after that, so next year Spider-Man and Suicide Squad,
Yeah,
and then the year after that is Wolverine.
yeah, dude, it's exciting time to be a
Yeah,
gamer.
yeah,
And then Fortnite,
of course. I gotta catch up.
Fortnite,
I need to
yeah.
get my Spidey going.
Once they add Chef into Fortnite,
Oh, forget it.
forget that, bro. Think about the
Yeah,
back bling on him. It'll be crazy.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, there was like one, oh, the whale, that trailer we want to talk about.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't really see much, but I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah, you see, like we've seen pictures of Brendan Fraser's character, but seeing him like in action, even for a second, like that fat suit
Yeah,
is crazy. I
yeah.
can't lie.
He just looks like so unhealthy.
Yeah, I'm actually really intrigued.
But how the movie turns out?
Yeah, I'm like really curious about what's gonna happen.
So am I, honestly.
And Sadie Sink is great. I mean, I just like recently finished. I watched all of Stranger Things. She's up there with one of my favorite parts of it of the show.
And this is like her first, besides Stranger Things, obviously. Like she hasn't really been in anything like big, right?
Yeah, she's in the Fear Street trilogy, which
Yeah,
I
yeah.
watched. It's pretty good, not bad. But
No like Academy Award type,
no, nothing that's gonna get nominated like this
Yeah,
probably will. And yeah, I have a feeling you're gonna love it though too because of the director, because you love Mother, and it's
yeah,
Aronofsky again. So, I also love Aronofsky. He made one of my favorite movies, Black Swan. So hopefully that's one that I'm really looking forward to.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that's it for movie news, right?
yeah, pretty much.
All right, I guess we can get on to the star of today's episode,
Like,
the
One Piece Stampede.
One Piece Stampede, the movie.
Yeah,
So you want to give a little synopsis here for the
yeah.
fans?
So basically, One Piece is an anime about. It's about pirates, but like it's way more than just. It's not just about pirates. Like there's a lot more stuff to it, but um, and the plot of the movie is basically that like they're having like basically this giant like pirate fest, and you all these bunch of pirates show up from the show. Like it's honestly, it's really hard to appreciate the movie unless you've watched. Like if you watch the show, the movie is way better than if you don't. Just because you appreciate all the characters and stuff like that. And so all these pirates come up, and it's revealed that there's actually like this former pirate there named Bullet. He's like super powerful, and it was like a setup to try to just kill all the pirates at once. And there's like more to it, but that's basically the plot of the movie. Um, it's so One Piece is kind of known for its world building and all its like strange and interesting characters. So like, I'm sure you saw like so many different people in the movie that you just have like no idea. Like, because they don't explain it. I mean, they
Yeah.
give you like a brief idea, but they don't really explain. Like, they don't explain the power system or like how. Like, they don't really talk about Roger and stuff.
Yeah, I could just based on like how much you and like our cousins talk about it, and like some of my friends. I watched it with a couple of my friends who they don't watch One Piece, but they're into anime. So they kind of like knew some of the characters. So I was like, oh, who's that? Whatever, like this and that, and they knew like some
Yeah.
of them. But I could tell who like some people were. Like the first guy was like Blackbeard when he showed up, right?
Yeah.
Like I just knew there was a character named Blackbeard, and he just looked like the type.
Yeah.
But the main like Luffy's main crew, I think I basically knew all of them. It was like Nami,
Yeah. Well, Nami,
uh,
was our cat. Well, my cat. I named her after
yeah,
Nami.
yeah, it was like Nami, Usopp,
Mm-hmm.
um, whatever that. What's that? The cool guy's name with green hair?
Zoro.
Zoro, Brock,
Block.
and isn't there someone named
Brock.
Brock?
No.
Who's the
Brook.
skeleton guy?
Brook. Not
Brook,
Brock. Brock from Pokemon. No.
Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, my bad. But and then what's the other guy's name?
Frankie.
Frankie, and like some other girl.
Robin.
Like I knew most of them, at
Yeah.
least a little bit. But besides that, like I was kind of lost.
Yeah, it's more like a I mean, I'm sure you could appreciate the animation and, like, the fights
Yeah,
and
the animation was crazy.
yeah.
It was actually insane. Even my friends who watch anime were saying how good it was. Um,
And the
but yeah,
fights were great too.
overall, like everything was just so insanely exaggerated. Like
Yeah.
I was
I mean, that's the
like
style of the movie, though. Like,
like
that's anime.
bro, my favorite scene just based on like how insane it was like when like the geyser first like shoots off and it creates like an insane like water explosion, like all the pirates just start like flying up. And it was just like so much shit happening at once. Like I was like crying laughing at every single like animation that happened. They always do these like crazy like close up shots of like
Yeah,
characters reacting to stuff. And it's just like so funny to me.
yeah.
But
What did you think of, like, do you know how the power system works in One Piece?
well I know they eat like the fruit and then that gives
Yeah,
them
the devil
powers.
fruit. But there's also, like, hot like, saw in the movie, it's called Haki,
Oh yeah,
H-A-K-I.
yeah, yeah.
So that's just kind of like there's, like, 2 there's Conqueror's Haki, and wait, what's the other one called? Hold on, because like, so even, like, I watch it all the time and I forget shit about the show just because there's so much stuff going on. It's actually insane that, like, one person like, this guy Oda's the author of the manga, and, like, he basically just made everything. Like, all of this just came from him. Like, the whole world, all this, like, the power system, like, all that shit is from him, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. It does seem like an insane world, and they have like 1,000 episodes, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Just the amount
So
of like, the only thing is there was like so many characters and like all these like different like powers and stuff, and it was just like so much to follow. There was people that were basically like transformers. There was like this guy just turned into a tank out of nowhere, like that mob guy. Or no,
yeah.
he turned into a castle.
Yeah, his whole thing is, like, I forgot what his I know, like, there's, like, he can pull soldiers out of him. I don't know, like, the full
But bro, I think like some of it has to be like ironic. There's no way that like that's being completely serious.
Oh, no, like, some of the characters are, like, fucking insane. Like, their power's just, like, so like, the cool ones are like Luffy, like, he could turn to rubber. Um, Blackbeard, like, you didn't really see his power, but, like, he can just kinda basically, like he just creates, like, black holes and, like, just can, like, suck people up in them. And then there's another character called Whitebeard, which you haven't met, but he can, he can, he'll just, like, slam his fist against, like, the air, and, like, he makes, like, cracks in reality and shit. Like, it's cool, like, all the fight scenes and stuff with him. I'm trying to think characters that you saw in it. Um, who was in it? So you know the guy that, like, turns into sand?
Um,
His name's
yes.
Crocodile, yeah, so his, like, he just, like, manipulates sand. The
Yeah,
guy
he was pretty cool. He had like that gold hook, right?
yeah, his name's Crocodile, and him and Robin used to work like, they used to work together for the same, like, thing, so when they introduced Crocodile in the show, like, Robin's part of it too, so they have, like, a history behind them. Um, do you know the guy Law? Do you remember him?
What does he look like or
He's a
do?
yellow jacket and, like, a hat with, like, white and black dots on
Oh
it.
yeah, 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 I remember him. He was
He,
like
like,
depressed.
yeah, but his powers, like, he can, like he makes, like, kinda, like, not portals, like, these big circles, and, like, can separate things from people in them, so, like, he'll be fighting people, and he'll just, like, make this circle and, like, separate people's heads from their bodies and shit, like, all like, it's really cool, like, fighting stuff. And there's a guy, Law. Do you remember him? He had red hair.
Wait, I thought you said the other guy was Law.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Law, Kid.
Kid?
Yeah, he had, like, red hair.
Um, what do you do?
His power is like metal, like, he controls metal, like, one of his arms is, like, made of, like, a bunch of, like
I don't remember, honestly. I low key think actually wait. Who was the guy that was like smoker? That's not him, is it?
Smoker, no, that's, like, he's works for the Marines.
He had, like, 2 cigars in his mouth the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
don't know. I don't remember a kid. I can't lie.
what's funny is, like, I don't know if you've heard about the have you ever heard of the 4 Kids One Piece thing?
No.
So, basically, the reason why One Piece isn't, like, super, super popular like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto in the US is because when it was introduced in the US, like, so this company called 4Kids bought the rights to One Piece, but they were buying something else, and like the rights to One Piece happened to be in this. So
Mhm.
like they didn't like really care about the show. They just were like, all right, we'll air it or whatever. So like the voice acting is like horrible. And then not even that, like in the US, like the censorship is like way stricter. So like you know how the guy Sanji, you know what that is, the guy with the kicks. He has like the flame foot, his blonde
Oh, yeah,
hair.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like, his character's always smoking, like, he always has a cigarette, so they can't show that on, like, 4Kids, so he always has, like, a lollipop in his mouth, and then, like, the guy Smoker, like, he has the 2 cigars, they don't say it's smoke, they call him, like, steamer, I think, and, like, instead of having cigars, like, his mouth is just open, and, like, there's just, like, steam coming, like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, that's funny.
So that's why, like, it was so bad that no one liked it in the US, so that's why, like, it's not as popular as, like, the other ones,
Yeah. I mean, I
but,
know it's huge in general. Isn't it, like, the highest selling manga or
yeah,
comic of all
In
time?
Japan, it's like how, like, the MCU is here, basically.
Yeah.
But, those movies are kinda like a one like an Endgame, like, type of movie because like, this
Yeah,
giant
I
over, like,
figured
all these characters.
this was kinda like One Piece Endgame with the amount of
Basically,
characters.
yeah.
Wait, I had a question. What
Yeah,
so remember that one part where, like, Douglas Bullet first pulls up trying to
yeah,
violate everyone?
yeah.
And then, like, he starts just, like, staring and, like, the whole
Oh,
entire
yeah,
world turns, like, purple, and then Luffy, like, stares back and, like,
so that's
everything
called,
what is that? Yeah.
that's hockey. So that's called what that thing is called Conqueror's hockey. So it's like this specific type of hockey that like it's only you can only really activate it if like you're like a extremely strong person. Like Luffy has it and that guy has it. Like if you're like a normal person, that's why you saw them admit it and like they just fucking collapsed.
Yeah.
Like you have to be like a strong person to even withstand it. So like the way it gets activated is like a super emotional. Well, they can like he controls it in the in the movie, but in the show, like he doesn't control it right away. Like he doesn't. It doesn't work like that. Like he has to train and shit. But like it gets released by like extreme moments of like emotion. It's like his brother like almost gets executed, and then all of a sudden he's like running to trying to save him. Like this giant fucking like that. So like the beam just
Yeah.
like goes over the whole battlefield. Like everybody collapses. Like it was cool when it first came. It still is really cool. But like if you don't understand it, like it probably looks so fucking weird.
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" But, yeah, honestly, just overall, like, I did not understand Douglas Bullett's powers. Like,
So his devil fruit was like he can like change matter basically.
that's
So that
OP. That's actually OP.
yeah.
That reminded me of, like, that remember in Transformers when they, they made this stuff called Transformium,
Oh yeah,
where
yeah.
they could, like, manipulate,
Yeah,
like,
turn everything into
matter into
yeah.
anything?
So
It
that's why like
reminded
he
me of
basically
that.
just sucked up everything and like turns into like a giant robot.
Yeah, bro, that was, like, the worst part for me, like, that
No, yeah,
CGI giant, like,
yeah.
that looked terrible, and, like,
Like
you couldn't even
when they actually just fight, like when it's Bullet and Luffy, like and there's no mech suit, like it's sick. Like all the graphics look great, but like the you're right, it does take away from it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's just, like, so over the top. Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
actually insanely huge.
yeah,
And also, it just looks bad. Like, everything else is in 2D, and then you just have, like, this random giant 3D,
yeah.
like, monster.
I don't like when animes do CG. I prefer them to just do like regular stop motion. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
so
wait, I had but also,
I want to eat
is the
what?
show, like, made for kids or not?
Um,
I feel like it
so like
kinda is.
It's different in Japan. Like in Japan, like animation is not stigmatized with kids shows. Like in the US, it's starting to get better. But like in Japan, like animation is like just another like people just go see animated movies like adults. Like there's
Yeah.
like it's just like the norm there. So I think it's intended for like just kind of like everybody, kind of like how the MCU is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, definitely, like, more kids are probably into it than adults, but, like, it's not that it's geared towards kids, it's just kinda geared towards everybody.
Yeah, there was one part where, like, they Luffy, like, said something about how, like, they have, like, friendship and that will, like, help them or something.
Yeah, there's, like
And,
well,
like,
this
me and my
the
friends that were with me were like, "Yeah, that's such, like, a classic anime thing." And,
anime
like,
trope, yeah.
yeah, because I was like, "Bro, like, that's so dumb." But
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Do you have any I wanna see, like, what other questions you have about it, because 'cause I'm sure, like, after watching it, you would, like, would just, like did you look up
Alright, yeah,
anything after?
nah, I didn't. So what was, like, you know how some have, like, these weird like, scars on their chests, kind of?
Um, so Luffy has a scar on his chest from, like, a so in the show, there's this thing called Marineford, which is like it's like a big crossover, kinda like a movie, but, like, there's actually, like, huge ramifications for the show. So, like, this movie, like, it's just like a like, it's a one-time thing, like, there's no significance to it. It's just like, like, in the show, this thing Marineford is like it's builds up, like, over the course of the show, and then, like, it's this giant fucking, like, basically battle between all the pirates and all the Marines. And, wait, what was even your question? I'm sorry, I was getting so off topic.
Oh, like, the scars. What was good with
Oh,
them? Like,
yeah,
a couple people had scars.
so he gets that, like, in a battle. Like, this guy, it's one of the admirals of the Navy, I forgot his name, but his power's like magma. Like, he controls magma, and he, like, burns his chest.
That's how a bunch of them got scarred. Cause
Well,
like,
that's
other
how Luke
people had it too.
it depends on who the character is. Like, I'd have to look, but, I mean, they're pirates, so they all fight all the time, so,
Yeah. Um, alright, so the Navy, like,
Yeah.
are they low key supposed to be, like, a comparison to the US like, the US or nah?
No. They're just supposed to represent, like, just, like, a government in general. Like, they're, like, super corrupt and, like, they don't really like, so the whole thing is, like, there's, like, good pirates, and there's, like, good people in the Navy, but there's also bad pirates and bad people in the Navy as well. So, like, in the beginning of the show, like, the Navy's, like I mean, the Navy's, like, bad, like, they're just fucking dickheads to people, and, like, even pirates, like, they just kill people and stuff, and they're very corrupt. And, like, they do all this, like, really shady shit, and then, like, as the show gets on, like, people within the Navy, like, start to realize like, the guy Smoker, like, he was, like, part of the Navy, but he's not, like, a bad person, like, he just kinda, like, is trying to help people, but,
Yeah.
like, all the other people, like, the admirals, I don't know if you know, like, there was, like, the purple dude fighting Zoro. He's, like, an admiral, he's, like, not good, he's, like, a dickhead. Like, they're actually those are, like, the bad people in the Navy. But, like, Luffy's a good character, like, they don't, like, fucking just start murdering people, like, they just, honestly,
Yeah, for
they help the government more than they hurt them, honestly.
word. Alright, yeah, for some reason when they first showed up, I was like, "Bro, like, is this supposed to be the US or something?"
No,
But, like,
it's
yeah,
just like a it's just supposed to represent, like, a government in general.
yeah.
What's cool
Um,
too about, Luffy's crew is that each character is, like, a different nationality.
yeah, that is
So
kinda cool because a lot of times it's only, like, uh, Japanese
yeah.
characters, right? Or
So
no?
Luffy is from Brazil, Zoro's Japanese, Chopper, like, the little,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about bro, that
reindeer.
actually shocked me when he, like, turned into a giant brolic,
That's
like,
part of, like, his he was a reindeer and he ate, like, uh, this devil fruit that basically just, like, gave him the ability to talk.
oh,
His backstory is actually fucking so sad. That's, like, one of the saddest parts of the show.
that little
Um,
dude?
yeah, because like, when he learns to speak, like, his, like, fucking herd, they, like, kick him out. He's, like, on his own.
And
Um, but yeah, he can, like, turn into different forms and shit. What were you saying about it?
nah, it actually, like, took me off guard when I was there was a scene they, like, go into the cave when they first were, like, in that
Yeah, and he just,
cavern.
like, turns giant, like, carrying
He
the
didn't
guy.
even, like I didn't even see him turn into him, he was just,
Well,
like,
you gotta
giant
remember
all of a
too, like,
sudden.
he
I
does
was
it
like,
in the
"What the
show
fuck?"
he does it
Yeah.
in the show all the time, so, like, for him to just do that, like, no one would bat an eye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it.
Um, but oh, yeah, so he's Canadian. Um, Frankie, like, the giant cyborg, he's American. Um,
Brock.
Bro, yeah. I don't know what Brooke is, honest.
He's a skeleton,
Yeah. I mean, let me look, bro. Let me
so
look
he's
up Brooke.
probably like I don't know. We'll just say he's American for now.
Let me see. Um, oh, Brooke is Austrian.
Austrian.
Yeah, I don't know. Sanji, like the guy from with the blonde hair, is French. Usopp is African. Uh, Z- Robin, that's like the girl with the blonde, the girl with the black hair.
Yeah.
She's Russian, and Nami's Swedish.
Oh wait, who is the girl that's like obsessed with Luffy?
Oh, Boa Hancock.
Yeah,
She's
what's
like
up
the
with her?
most powerful like female uh pirate like in the world. Like she has like this her own like basically her devil fruit she could just like turn people to stone and shit. Like everyone like is obsessed with her. And Luffy like randomly ends up on her island one day. Like she's kind of like a parallel to like Wonder Woman a little bit. Like she lives on like an island of all girls
Yeah, yeah.
and they're like super strong. And he ends up on the island and like she just like fucking becomes obsessed with him for like no reason. And that's like a big trope in the thing. Like she just and Luffy just like doesn't even care.
Yeah. I thought
Um
that was like funny. It was
yeah.
random.
But she's like a really cool character.
Yeah.
Um oh and she's a war so I don't I didn't I'm sure like you heard them throw the term like warlord around, right?
Um,
Like in
I
the
don't know.
show. So
I don't.
basically warlords are like pirates that work for the government that like the government will pay them like to just kind of like fight other pirates, but like they're so strong that the government knows that they can't take them out, so like they'll just pay them money to fight like other pirates for them.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes
But like
sense.
most of them are like corrupt and never even listen to the government anyway. So they're like, you know,
Yeah, they just get
but
that bag.
yeah, basically. Cuz she's one the guy Buggy's one.
Oh, that's the clown dude.
Yeah.
What was his power? He could like separate his head or
Yeah.
something, right?
The chop fruit. He like separates his like body parts. It's actually OP if you think about it.
Why he like can't die or something?
He can, but like, because he just basically like anytime he gets caught, he just like put himself back together.
Yeah. I low key thought they killed off Usopp for a sec. I can't
Yeah,
lie. He
people think
almost.
he's gonna die in the anime.
Have there been any like major deaths
To Luffy's crew.
in the 1,000 episodes that have happened?
Oh yeah, there's like huge, not really part of his crew, but other characters, like people in Luffy's family.
Yeah.
Like
That dude
other
that shows up at the end was like Luffy's brother or something, right?
yeah. So he has two brothers. He has I mean, you're not gonna watch. I'm assuming you're not gonna watch One Piece, right?
No, no, I'm not.
And spoiler warning for whoever's listening, but so Luffy has technically three others. They're not actually his siblings, but he just like grew up with them. So he
Yeah.
has Ace, which is the like Goldie Roger, it's his son. But like no,
Okay.
but Luffy's like they get raised together. Um and him, then the guy Law, who is I don't know if they revealed his son. But they live together for a little bit, but then he goes off and gets trained. He actually trains with Luffy's actual dad in the show. And then
Okay.
he has and then recently they introduced a new character called Uda, who's like his sister in the show. Like not blood related, but so his name's Ace. Ace Sabo. Sabo's the one you see in the thing. Luffy and then Uda. So basically, the whole thing about Marineford, I was telling you about that.
Mhm.
Um Ace gets captured by the government. So like all these pirates pull up to try to save him, and he ends up dying. So like that's like the big,
Oh,
yeah.
that's crazy.
I was actually when I first started watching the show because Ace is a really cool character. He's like a fan favorite. And I was
He
like, oh,
wasn't in the movie, was he?
nah. There's like a scene with him. So like at the end when like they're escaping and like Sabo does like the giant flame thing and you see him standing and like you could see in the fire there's like a silhouette of someone and it's Ace.
Okay.
But the reason why is because Ace had those powers, like, it's called the flame fruit. So when you die, like, your devil fruit, like, randomly just appears somewhere on the earth, and, like, he ends up getting it, so he has the same powers
Oh, that's
as
cool.
Ace. Um, but yeah, those are, like, his 2 brothers, and then Uda's, like, a newer that's the One Piece movie that just came out recently, but that one's, like, way that one's, like, a musical.
Yeah, that's probably sussy,
I
but
mean, I liked it, but this one's way better in my opinion, though.
word.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess just because 'cause we're, like, kinda just if we wanna
Yeah,
talk about, like, the history of One Piece and the
yeah,
lore,
well,
we
I think
could
we'll
be
yeah,
rambling.
we can do
So,
a One Piece episode.
yeah, but just so
I
we
think an
could
anime in
just
general,
so we're,
yeah,
like, able to move on.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, my favorite character was Luffy. I thought
yeah,
he was the not that he was the coolest, but, like, he had the most screen time, and I didn't really get, like, too much of an, like, introduction to the rest of the characters to, like them enough, you know?
mhm.
I did like the skeleton guy, though,
Brooke,
who's apparently Brook, even though I thought it was Brock.
no, Brooke,
He was cool. I just thought he was cool, and he was, like, funny looking,
yeah.
and but yeah,
His,
like, Luffy's powers were cool, and, like, how he was fighting was cool.
yeah,
So I, like, enjoyed him the most.
his, Brooks' power is basically his devil fruit is that, he can come back to life, but, like, he didn't know that when he ate the fruit, so, like, he just thought that, like, his, like, it wasn't a devil fruit. So, like, he dies, like, he's, like, the last person on his crew to die, and then he just, like, resurrects, and he's, like, alive.
That's cool.
That's, like, basically his whole thing with the fruit.
Yeah. Wait, what since coming from, like, a One Piece fan, what's your favorite scene in this?
Um, I know you think it's funny, but probably the Conqueror's hockey scene in the beginning, because that's, like, Conqueror's hockey is, like, they don't use it a lot in the show, it's, like, a big deal. So and, like, the animation just looks really cool.
Yeah.
Just them fight that first fight, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of good scenes with Luffy, but
Alright.
what's crazy too is there's still a lot of characters that weren't even introduced in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, maybe eventually we'll get to more One Piece movies to talk about
Yeah,
on here.
yeah.
But I feel like it's hard to really even talk about this as, like, a movie just because, like,
Yeah,
there's so many characters and, like,
yeah.
a lot of it is
It's
just,
meant for,
like
like, fans to watch.
yeah. It really is just, like, all the pirates, like, teaming up to fight, like, Bullet,
Yeah, no, it's just yeah,
basically.
that's
There's not, like,
unreal.
much story going on.
No, it's pretty simple, it's not, you know.
But, yeah, what about who's your favorite character in this?
I mean, I like Luffy. Same thing, I mean, he's, like, my favorite main character, probably any form of media.
Right.
He's just such a really cool character.
Is the Luffy tattoo incoming?
I wanna get one. I wanna get, like, a hat, like the straw hat. I just, like,
Right.
I don't know where to go.
Probably on your forehead will be
That'd be
good.
perfect. Like like I just shave my head and just do it like it looks like it's an actual hat.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That'd be perfect.
Um, but yeah, I guess I'll just rate it. Like, I'm sorry to all you One Piece fans, but for me, this is like a 2.5 star. It's a 5 out of 10 for me. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it like for what I could. Like, it was good animation, good fights, and it was like pretty outrageous, which I enjoyed. But it really
yeah,
just doesn't offer much in terms of story, and
yeah,
I didn't like the villain at all. And that is like or at least what they did with him, with like that giant mech suit.
yeah,
And like a good villain is like a good part of like a story like this,
yeah.
you know? So, yeah.
You might like the newer one because the newer one is more story driven. Like there's an app there's like the story's like better, but I just enjoyed this one more because a lot more action. But the newer one that came out, like there's a lot more story to it. Like it deals with like that. Because you know I said like the pirates aren't good and like Navy isn't good either,
Mhm.
and it talks a lot about like the regular people and like how they're just kind of in the middle. So it's like they just suffer. So it talks about like that and like how no one's like really truly like good. Like it was honestly a deep plot point for a fucking anime movie. Like I was really surprised, but I keep going, but um I rated it obviously. I'm being a One Piece fan, like, and knowing everything behind the show, I enjoyed it a lot more than just like a surface level like action. So I gave it four stars, so 8 out of 10. And I think if you're a One Piece fan, like you'll rate it similar to that because like just seeing all the characters interact and the fights are amazing.
Alright, alright. Yeah, I definitely like, I think it was still a good recommendation, like, I'm glad I watched it just to be able to,
Yeah,
like
just to expose yourself to that and
yeah, um, so yeah, thanks for that recommendation.
yeah.
That was a good one. Let's do, some Q&A. We actually
Oh,
have
we
some
got some
questions.
questions. Sweet.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
We got 2, and only one of them is movie related, but
interesting.
it's a step up. Let me pull them up really quick. Alright. From at sophia.k.ua. Thanks for being a loyal fan, by the way. If you could be any Marvel or DC character for a day, who would it be slash what would you do? It's a
Um,
good question. I would say in the spirit of Wakanda Forever, I'll be Namor. I could fly around with my feet, like I could breathe underwater, super speed, like I would just be lit. What I
yeah,
would do though? Hmm.
I wouldn't be doing good things, put it that way.
What do you mean by that, bro?
I'd be stealing. I'd be fucking
No, no.
bro.
That's
If I had
against the
that,
law.
what are you gonna
I
do?
would I would be saving the world. I would be doing morally good things the whole time. I definitely wouldn't steal.
I would not. I'd fucking go to Chase headquarters and fucking steal as much money as I want.
What about the kids that are watching slash listening to this?
I mean, it's not like I'm stealing from a billionaire. It's not like I'm fucking taking candy from a baby.
Oh, so you're Robin Hood now?
Yeah,
But anyways, yeah, I feel like having the ability to fly is always cool. Like that's such like
yeah,
a dream kind of ability. And I'll probably just fly around and like maybe like
but
sightsee, fly to the Grand Canyon and see it from above. And then I'd go to the deep depths of I'd go to all of the undiscovered areas of the ocean and discover them and see what's
yeah.
going on. Um, but yeah, what about you, Joe? Who would you pick?
Um, probably someone with super strength. I just don't know. There's so many fucking characters.
Morbius?
Maybe, yeah. I honestly, yeah. I wanna suck down that like slurp juice in the IV bag.
Yeah, that would probably be a crazy feeling to
Yeah,
do.
and
So
then steal all the money, and then fight Damon
yeah,
Targaryen.
and then rob a bank, and then like um rob a bank with a vulture, and then Craven will get called and
Yeah,
come get you.
and then
But
just recruit random villains to come rob a bank with me.
yeah, that would be Morbius is a good choice. So
Mm.
yeah, thank you for the question. We got one more from at rhugs23. What are your thoughts on Twitter's demise?
Who's
Well, firstly, weapon
who said that?
rhugs23. It's someone from Manhattan College.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully he's listening. Hopefully he's a loyal fan. But
Yeah.
wait, what was the question? Oh, what do you think of Twitter's demise? I'll say Twitter is not even being demised right now. Like it's not. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. But like the shit that's been happening because of it is kind of crazy. Like I don't know
Yeah,
if you saw that thing with because now like people are saying, oh, it's too easy to get verified. There was an account that like pretended to be some like healthcare
yeah, some
account.
insulin company, and they
They
fucking
tweeted like insulin is now free,
go
and then
free.
like their entire stock like plummeted
Plummeted,
insanely,
yeah.
and
It
like they
definitely
lost
was
billions of
a
dollars.
stupid idea to do that because like it's so easy to spread misinformation on online and like them just enabling people to pay $8 to look like an official account like it's just not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be like there are good things to like the idea of paying to be verified, but there has to be like a distinct difference between those who are actually verified and those who bought it. Like a
Yeah,
different color check. Different color check is probably the
yeah,
biggest thing. Like if you're
yeah,
actually verified, maybe you get a green check, and then if you bought it, you get a blue check there. Solves
yeah,
your
no,
problem.
yeah.
Like,
Cause like, wait till, like just wait till fucking, like and, like, the trade season and shit like that, you know how many count I mean, this those these aren't, like, a big deal, but this is, like just saying, like, you know how many fucking fake trade outlet things are gonna be there and shit?
I know. Yeah, and I don't know. And it is like the main. I understand his reasoning. There's so many bots on Twitter
Oh, yeah.
that if you can have actual people that pay for it, be like the first people that come up in the comment sections, they're real people.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be
Well, he
filled with like these
like,
like
in
porn
theory,
bots or like all
it's a
this,
great fucking, idea, it's just, like, he implemented it, like, retardedly.
yeah, and also like what like the layoffs and the stuff that he's doing
Yeah,
at
he's just, like
Twitter.
it's just kinda
It's pretty
fucked up.
like it's kind of like dictator like what he's
Yeah,
like these demands that he's asking for. But yeah, Elon, he's gonna do his thing. So
yeah,
yeah, well, thanks for the question. That was a little non-movie related, but
yeah.
either way, something for us to answer. So I guess that basically wraps up episode 11, but not before I can recommend my film.
Yeah, I'm curious, what are you gonna recommend?
All right, so I would like to recommend a film directed by Sam Mendes, released in 1999, starring Kevin Spacey and Thora Birch, among others. Can you guess it?
I cannot, honestly.
And it is American Beauty. It
What's it about?
is it tackles a lot of adult themes. I'll say that. And consider it's very crazy that this movie exists knowing what Kevin Spacey has done in real life. I'll put it like that.
Okay.
But it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and this will be fun because I want to like discuss more about like separating art from artist,
Oh, what else?
and
Yeah.
so yeah, American Beauty. Go watch it. We'll talk about on episode 12. We'll do American Beauty. We'll do Guardians of the
Regardless,
Galaxy
so
special.
we're potentially trying to see Glass Onion, we're gonna figure that out. But
Yeah,
that may be
because
on
there's no showings in Staten Island, so
we may be
there's
going to the city at midnight to see
yeah,
it.
we might have to do a Tuesday night, midnight in the city.
Yeah,
So so for now, Bones and All, we'll talk about, and then we'll talk about American Beauty and Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah.
Possibly Knives Out, but now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like most people aren't even gonna be able to see it anyway. You know?
I mean, yeah, but we don't have to get into, like, spoilers of it, or we could give a spoiler warning.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, we'll update you guys on the Instagram. So yeah, follow us on
Yeah,
Instagram, follow us Letterboxd, whatever. Ask us some questions for next time.
yeah, or
And
recommend stuff, you know.
yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah,
See ya.
take care. Peace.